elements, eternal fears, policies, electric tears, second act, diseases, and sound as a modern meter, walkie-talkie, stopper wires, safety, data, Vegas, iron, DD, bells, harbor, balance, stairs, and deacon, native fires, these are niggas, paper cutter, waffle wires, windows, anything, movies, windows, and reflecting data, apothecaries, fiction, pasta, soul,
Open Gangnam Style. Open Gangnam Style.
Hello? 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 Hello?
Yo, Deepfried.
Hello? 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 Hello?
Hey, Dana.
Hello?
I'm a fucking cake. Fucking eat me, your asshole. Fucking eat me, your asshole. Fucking eat me, your asshole.
Sir.
Fucking eat me, your asshole.
Hello?
Fucking eat me, your asshole. Fucking eat me, your asshole.
Hey, Dana.
Hello? Hello?
I hunt people for all eternity. I have lost you.
Now all you need to do Hey there, little buddy, and welcome to Hot Horse. My name's Kaldi, and I am not going to touch you. It must have been good. Anyways, at this point, the ice door from the homeless.
Shake, shake, shake your peanut.
Yep, you're banned. Being the biggest living creature on Earth, you know what I mean? Can y'all imagine that? You don't have to imagine yourself.
I have an idea so smart that my head works.
I'll return it to a convertible.
The Eminem McFlurry.
Okay, that was close. Yeah.
Un video más, mi gente, para perder el tiempo. Me encanta esta vaina. El que quiera perder su tiempo, que lo...
He's so smart that my head works for if I know what I was talking about.
I'll return it to a convertible.
Whoa, whoa, I see it, I see it. I'm gonna panic.
Hurry up!
It gets hard after you like.
That's what she said.
Hurry up!
Welcome to Kaldi's Deepfried house. And
Probably.
that's me.
Testicles.
Yo, chat, why this game so fun, chat?
Hey guys, it's 45 kids. I don't know. Very good
Free crap! Let's go get some free crap! dumbest person in this house.
Hello, it's me again, Kaldi. What do you think about my new look?
Go get some free crack! Oh, hi! Welcome to my cool school house. I'm Raldi, your teacher. And if you don't get those notebooks, I'm gonna clap your cheeks, boy. Come here and get your fucking bye. This is the rest of my bank account, so don't be using it on some useless shit like soda. Don't use it to buy food.
I am brave, but who wants to? I am for all of the eternity.
And Christmas is freezing.
What?
Hey, Lewis, he's over here.
A star wasn't enough, the moon wasn't enough. Now I'm compared to an entire galaxy somewhere in a multi-million-dollar game.
So back to you go. I am brave, but who wants it?
And Christmas is
I respect that.
Those built like a 1x1 Lego piece. What even is a 1x1 Lego piece?
Back, I will somehow lose and my intelligence.
Congratulations! You found all the 10 notebooks. Now Jolly's coming at you!
Hey, Lewis, he's over here.
Stop breaking my rules, you
Oh, Wally Kazali, you won the game. Load up the game again and try to